Alright, I'm gonna stream and record this, so I'm gonna wrap this video. I really like Insult Audits. I'm gonna put their channel in the description. Subscribe to them, they're really good, they make good content. Anyways, let's get going.
Makeup on just for this date, so it better go well. And I'm not posting this, probably, if it doesn't.
Okay.
It did
Doing
not
hair?
go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2 minutes. I walked up, he gave me a hug and said, "Are you hungry? Let's go inside." We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside, and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it." So I walked to my car, came back home.
Ouch. That sucks, but hey, at least he's honest.
Dating when you're fat sucks.
Oh wow there fam, this XXL size Queen is trying to tell us how bad her date went because the guy actually showed up. Ladies, let me tell you something. For those of you who are on any spectrum of the waistline size, a lot of men don't even get that. I mean, they go out on a date, which they planned out and they're gonna pay for, and a lot of these, I'm not gonna settle regardless of what.
And let's just make things clear. This isn't trying to be like, oh, poor men, boo-hoo, sympathize with us. Like, no, he's just highlighting what men go through on the daily. Most of the time, women don't show up. And, they don't have to, but it just kind of erodes your trust in, like, dating. And, yeah, to add on to his point, it's like, yeah, most men are not attracted to overweight women. You can do something about that. You can go to the gym, you can work out. I mean, I'm not by any means in shape. I mean, look at that. I've got some rolls, but I'm not overweight, you know. Men just want women that aren't overweight. I wouldn't even say you need to be like amazingly thin and beautiful, and just don't be fat. You can be average, you can be, and like, men will be like, okay, she's not fat, cool.
What's wrong with me, Queens? They just don't even go out. They totally ghost the guy because they had a better prospect. So saying that dating as
women
a
have
fat
more
sucks
options.
because the guy
It's
didn't
true.
show up, oh, cry me a river there, Queen. In fact,
And
at your size, you should be
drink
able to cry
monsters.
me a
I'm
several
not
rivers.
blaming
The
anyone
point is,
for
there,
my
Queen,
shit.
dating has
I
sucked for men
need to
since
stop
day
drinking
one.
monsters
At
and drink
least
more
you
water.
can control the one thing that's holding you back, your weight. I mean, that is
Exactly.
if you could drop the
You
french
can
fries for
control it.
about 10 seconds. Before we move on, I want to bring to attention that 75% of my viewers...
Literally, I've done this multiple times. If you want to lose weight easily, don't have soda for a month. Just drink water. Do flavored water. You'll lose about 5 pounds.
are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Jeez.
First of all, I just want to say to this commenter and to everyone else who's been saying the same thing, I'm so sorry that this is our reality and this is how we've been made to feel.
I mean, yeah, man, most men out there are fuckboys. Let's be here. Let's be real here. Most men in the dating market are fuckboys, right? And they do this and they tell you what you want to hear so they can pump it and dump it. And is it right? No, I don't think it's right. But if you're gonna keep enabling the behavior by continuing to do it and sleep with them, then it's going to keep happening. So maybe you should stop enabling that behavior. Just saying. Takes two to tango. I just shamed the dude. He shouldn't be doing that. But if you're gonna sleep with the dude and tell them to keep doing it, then they're gonna keep doing it.
And it's real. Like, as much as I wish it wasn't real, I want to validate you and say that it is real, that people do treat fat women like this. And unfortunately, in our society, we've made dating conventionally attractive, conventionally hot people a form of social currency where you're almost embarrassed to be seen with someone who doesn't fall under that category.
Yeah, because there's not a market for overweight women for men. There's some men that are into that, but most men are not attracted to overweight women.
I'm not innocent in this either. Like, I've dated so many different kinds of men, but I have the internalized belief that, like, why would this hot guy want to be seen with me? Which is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and I hate that I feel that way. Unfortunately, this has been
issues, but also
my reality as well. A lot of people want to hook up.
A quickie. Let's be real
Almost no
here.
one wants to actually date.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, very few. And the ones who do, I'm kind of like, ugh, I don't like you. That's a whole other can of worms.
Okay, that's a personal problem. Like, you don't like the people that actually want relationships, then you're subjecting yourself to this. I have no sympathy for you at this point.
Does not compute.
Yeah.
Does not compute.
Exactly.
Does not compute.
Oh, boo-hoo there, my XXL queen. You're complaining because hot guys want to hook up with you, but they don't want to be seen with you? At least you get that. Tell me something, queen. How many hot women say that they want to hook up with an overweight man, but they don't want to be seen with them? Very, very few, if any at all. Oh, please, save it. Just because you say you're good enough to sleep with and not to commit to doesn't mean a dang thing. At least you're hooking up with the hot guy. You're getting something out of it. You're acting like it's all one way. No, it's two ways, sister. When you hook up, both of you enjoy it, not just one person. I mean, let me ask you a key question here, my ton of fun princess. How many overweight men have you dated? Or to the point, how many overweight men do you want to be seen with?
Exactly.
Last time I checked,
the
even
standards
girls
are very
that break
different.
the mold by at least 50 pounds want to be seen with a hot guy. You want to compete with the skinny girls to get the hot guy, but you're complaining because you lose at that. Yeah, a hot guy will sleep with you, but he doesn't want to be seen with you. Most hot guys are like that. They treat you extra cushion girls like mopeds, fun enough to ride, but they just want their friends to see them riding it. But then again, Colleen, what are you complaining about? The guy you want to ride is getting that ride. Moving on.
I was just reminded that 9 years ago today,
Oh my God.
The first, how do I get these words out? My first experience dating.
Your average guy with self-respect would say no to this. That's, if I can't hug you, if I can't put my arms around you and hug you, I don't date you. That's my personal rule. That's, to me, is no.
As a fat person, and I was in high school, and I was
Like,
just a baby,
my
and I wish I
hands
could go
cannot
back
touch.
and hug her.
I cannot
Way
do
too
this.
young to be on
You're
dating
too
apps,
fat
but
to
it's
me.
right when they first came out, and so my friends and I would joke around, and we would just talk to some people, and it was fairly innocent. And there was this one boy I was talking to that was like more upstate New York, or maybe west, or somewhere else, not near where I was living. We had been talking for a bit, and we never really planned to meet up just because neither of us had cars or a license yet.
Get to the point!
The concert he was in, and he was also going to that concert, and so we thought it would.
Is it just me, or do like a lot of girls do this? They just talk. What's your point?
Be a perfect idea.
Get to the point.
Meet up then.
Like, seriously. Please get to the point.
I had shared with the kid that I was curvier, thicker.
Okay, you let him know you're fat. Got it.
100 pounds lighter than I am now. We back and forth to do was for him to be shocked and I be a catfish. I get to the
Holy
concert,
crap.
I'm so excited, I'm texting him, I'm thinking, I'm finally gonna have my first kiss. I see him from afar, I go to text him and say, hey, let's meet up, and he blocks me.
Alright, so this XXXL Colleen goes to a concert to meet her high school crush, and he blocks her. Okay, boo-hoo. Sorry, ladies, I don't want to sound very cruel.
Why didn't you just say that from the get-go? You could have just said, I met a high school crush, we decided to go to cons together, and then when he met, even after I told him I was overweight, he blocked me. You didn't need to go through the whole waterboard, as Bill Burr puts, waterboard of an event just to get to the point.
But I promise
holy
you,
crap.
young man have been treated far harsher than that. Jeez. In fact, this girl is going to give you a little bit of game. You wonder what I think happened in that situation?
I don't even know her, and she drove me nuts.
Being a little bit of a player. He was maybe texting more than one girl. He was going to meet more than one girl at that concert, and basically he just set it up to say, oh, you know what? The ones that show up, I'm just going to stay with the hotter one of the two. And for the rest, okay, well, I'm sorry, but you know, I can only be with one woman. Another obvious possibilities, probably he felt that he was
don't agree with the behavior, but it happens.
The pictures you sent him, you didn't look as big as you were in real life. Got there, he was like, oh,
that's
snap.
not cool.
This isn't a tuna, this is a whale. I just gotta say, Colleen, I actually believe that he was just treating you as a third tier on his roster. I'm pretty sure the rest of her story, she's gonna give a few more details as how she was heartbroken, how she was destroyed, how unfair this all was. Well, you wonder why most men just don't really feel the unfairness in your story, or whatever else you're gonna say after this. It's because maybe you got treated this way once, twice, possibly 3 times. Do you wonder how many times men get treated this way? Oh, I can easily lose count. An average guy, not even an overweight guy.
Right, women don't care. There's no point in talking
even worse
about
than this, at least
they don't care.
10 times.
They're just,
if you
just going to go in one ear, out the other.
Those first few years. Not to mention the rest of his life.
No point.
So, sweetheart, if you're going to blame this all on your weight, again, you're blaming it on something that you had control of. Yes, you...
Then, you know, there's a reason why women do this. They post this because people care, right? I mean, there's a market for it. They get likes, they get views, they get attention. If people just stop doing this, women would stop doing it because they're like, oh, I'm not getting the validation now,
but you're also lower, your SMV is lower. When you were younger, your SMV was affected more by your weight. But let's hear what else she has to say.
And I'm like, I did not come all this way to be blocked. So I went up to him and tried to start a conversation, gave him a hug.
Seriously, just enjoy the concert. Why do you need to do it with a guy? Why do you need to do it with a guy?
I went on with the day, and
So what?
Eventually he unblocked me and I was like, what happened? And he was like, you're not curvy, you're fat. It was so creepy. You creep me out so much. Like, how come you stalked me? How come you came to this concert?
Okay, not cool. If I was that guy, I would just been like, look, I think you're fat, not curvy, I'm not interested. And move on. You don't need to like shame the person. Come on now.
All this stuff. And I was like, we planned it. It was a gaslighting. I was so embarrassed and ashamed and I hated myself. And oh my God, relax.
Well, you shouldn't be
God,
embarrassed.
I will
Just
never
move
find
on.
anybody
Just
if
enjoy the
I
concert and be like, okay, great.
am the way I am.
Be unbothered. You don't gotta be
And
bothered
it's just
by
so
it.
sad, and that would start the disaster of me dating and online dating for the rest of my life as a fat person. And I want you to know that if
You
you're
can
doing
change
I
that.
see you, I hear you.
If you don't,
I've been there. You're gonna find your person.
maybe this is
And
just
they're
her
gonna love
brand.
all
Like,
of
seriously, just...
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
She said it, not me. If you're
Yeah.
dating as an overweight person, as she is, she sees you. And so does everybody else. Trust me on that one. And listen, ladies, why is it that all these advice-giving queens always say that, hey, accept your body as it is, and you'll find somebody who's going to
that's
love you
their
for the way
brand,
you
that's
are?
why.
Why don't they just give out advice that, hey, you know what?
You know,
Let's start
there's a market
exercising
for
more.
it.
Let's
It's their
live a
brand.
healthier
That's why
lifestyle.
they're doing it.
Let's take control of our bodies so we can be in shape, be healthier, live longer lives, and find someone who is the same way. I'm sorry, but saying that, hey, somebody who doesn't accept me the way I am, they're completely toxic.
If you have an average body type and you know your metabolism's decent, you can just cut out soda for a month and you'll lose weight. Drink tea. Drink water. You'll lose weight. Walk. Just walk around the block once a day. You'll lose weight. Like, you can do really basic things to lose weight.
Is very hypocritical and double standard when at the same
Sure.
time you will not accept a man who is
Oh, yeah.
not a certain height, doesn't make a certain amount of money, doesn't have six-pack abs himself. I mean, it's amazing how in modern day dating, men don't have super high standards. They're pretty freaking simple to achieve as a woman.
If you're gonna date, you know, just stick to your standards, and if you get shamed, you go, well, you know, I'm not gonna explain it because there's no point. You're just wasting your time because the double standards exist. So just stick to your guns. Me personally, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have been like, oh, you're not curvy, you're fat. Ew. I would just been like, you know, I don't think you're curvy. I feel like I was lied to. I'm really not interested. Have a good one. Best of luck to you. That's probably what I would have said. I would have put her down nicely, and I would have been honest about it.
Well,
You
women
don't
have
need to,
higher
you don't need
multiple
to
standards
like
for men, and then they get upset
brutalize
with men
somebody
for having
verbally
a
for
handful of
being
standards
overweight.
and demand that they lower those standards. Listen, queen, before you give yourself some love, why don't you go give that treadmill some love? Moving on.
Okay, fat women, I'm going to teach you how to get the princess treatment from men.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm talking like you're over 300 pounds and men are treating you like
You're over 300
gold.
pounds?
I have been flown
Holy
out. I
crap.
have been wined and dined. I've had very respectful conversations. I get flowers regularly.
Even I'm
not
not
gonna lie
300
to you.
pounds.
This
I'm
takes time.
200,
It takes patience,
205
understanding.
on my
You
worst
want a quick
day.
fix? This is probably not
If I
the
actually
video
watch
for
what
you.
I eat
Number
and
one,
stop drinking
unsubscribe
crap, I
and
can
don't
be like
engage
190.
with content that is battle of the meaning like all men are all women are there are people in this world and that has nothing
Yeah, I
to
agree
do
with
with your
that.
gender. A lot of that content is
Yeah,
made
crappy
because it's
men and
very
women. For sure, I agree
relatable,
with that.
and when someone goes viral for making something that's like, oh guys do this, they're gonna
Yeah.
keep trying to make that content and it's not always genuine. Number two, if you want to be treated
Oh, I for sure agree with that. I mean, again, I've said this multiple times. If there's a market for it and people are getting positive reception for that, then the incentive is to keep doing it, right? We are driven by incentive. It doesn't matter who you are. If you like incentive to go to work every day, your incentive may be a positive or a negative one. Most I believe in most people's cases, the incentive is, well, I don't want to be homeless, so I gotta work. Well, I gotta pay these bills. I gotta work. I would say that's 90% of people's incentive. I'd say 10% of people probably truly enjoy their jobs and they're like, oh man, I'm ahead of the game. I've got my bills paid. I've got my ducks in a row. I'm doing great. I love my job. Not too many people are like that. I believe that's the reality. You know, I think most people hate their jobs. I really do. But yeah, I do agree with that for sure.
like a princess, you have to act like a princess. It also helps to look like a princess. And trust me, I get it. I grew up in a household where like sarcasm was literally our love language. It's like how we communicated, how we love each other. That's great, but that's just not
I'm gonna give you some advice, women. Okay, I'm a man, right? This is what I believe most men want talk to men. I've done the research for you. Most men just want a woman that takes care of their own business, isn't annoying, and will be supportive, right? Emotionally, physically, mentally, all that. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's it. That's it. That's all. You can still put boundaries in place and say, hey, I don't appreciate you doing that. Please don't do that. I think most men will, if they're good men, because, just like she said, there's bad people in the world, will respond positively. They're like, okay, and if he cares, he'll stop. If not, I can't speak for all men, but, you need to put your foot down when you feel you're being disrespected, and if you can't change that, then don't try and change him. That's the big problem that a lot of women make. Oh, I can change him, I can fix him. They can't. Just move on. There's other people out there, and if there's not, you need to be happy with yourself. Go to a concert yourself. Wine and dine yourself.
Something that I want in my
Nothing wrong with that.
relationship. I really want to be treated like in a romantic way. I want to be treated with respect and just a lot of love and
Right,
understanding.
fair.
So I give that. Like
Depends
when
on
I
how
talk
much
to
understanding
someone,
we're
I
talking
talk
here.
to men in a certain way, and that goes into like
I
number
probably wouldn't
3.
encourage you
I'm
to
always so respectful
stay
when I speak
overweight.
to men. I always speak to them in a really high regard. I'm always like, how are you, sir? I'm very intentional in communicating my feelings, and either they reciprocate that or they get really freaked out. I'm okay if they get freaked out because I realize I'm like, okay, I don't need to waste my time with this person. They don't get it.
All right, fam, to this XXL size queen, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Even though she's saying how to get the princess treatment and acting like a princess, we're going to go into details in a moment. I have to say that she's on the right track here. What I would say is she is being very cool. If you're an XXL woman, you're very cool with men, you would be surprised at the level of guy that you're going to get the attention from. But out of everything she said, I want to jump straight to
Yeah, from what she said, just being respectful, you're going to get a lot of attention from men because not a lot of women do that. Common sense.
the biggest key thing she said. And it takes time. That is absolutely true. You're not a super freaking hottie that you're going to demand princess treatment off rip. You have to work at it. You have to put in the time. Now let's go into the things that she said. She says she's been flown out, wine and dined, and gets flowers on the regular. I'm going to say this and go on record for it. A higher value man will not have a problem getting a bigger girl as a regular if she is absolutely cool with being on his roster. Let me go into a little bit more detail here, fam. If the guy makes a lot of money and he gets a bunch of different women, but he's with a big girl and she never says no, never gives him a headache. She's cool with being on his roster. She's okay with him being with other women. And she's just waiting her turn to be treated the way she wants to be treated. Yeah. A higher value man will eventually do that for a bigger, cute girl who's very cool about things. Let me give my younger male listeners out there some headache. No. If you're going out with, say, a woman who is an 8 out of 10, chances are she's got an uncool attitude. So you treat that like something that's on sale, like it's Black Friday. You hit that as many times as you can because it's not going to last long. Now, a heavy girl who's very cool about it and she doesn't mind you going banging out the 8s as long as every now and then you're going to give her some, that is worth keeping around. I mean, she's worth her weight in gold. No pun intended. But let's hear what else she has to say.
Like, they don't get it. Number 4 should have been number 1, but any guy that approaches me and immediately talks about my body, is in any way, says things that just like rub me the wrong way, I don't even respond. I don't even open the message.
Don't entertain the idea
and move on because they're already telling you what they want. Stop engaging. Please stop engaging with these kinds of men. Number 5, I tell them exactly how I want to be treated. I tell them I like flowers. I like flowers regularly. Flowers make me feel blah, blah, blah. I love gifts. I love when someone thought of me and blah, 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 blah. Like, I tell them exactly what I want. And here's the thing. Some of them are going to do it just in the beginning just to, like, get your attention or whatever. But usually the mask comes off at some point and you'll know whether it's, like, within their character to be this way. I saw something the other day that said toxic men are always looking to see what they can get from you, and like healthy men are always looking to see how they can serve you. And I feel like that is spot on.
I kind of agree. I do agree where the bad men are always trying to see what they can do to take from you, but I think the good men, it's a give take. You have to be, willing to return the favor. If it's just take, and you're not giving anything in return, eventually that person who's giving is going to be like, why am I wasting my time? They obviously are just, they're going to feel like they're being used, and they're just going to move on. I mean, unless they're the Chads and Tyrones that you're talking about, they might not care, but your average guy is probably going to be like, yeah, I think I'm just being used. Like, I'm out. Peace. But yeah, let's continue.
So don't expect that every man that approaches me is going to be my type or the kind of man that I like, because I'm very picky. But I do still respect them and talk to them as though they're my friends. It's only when they risk rejection and are very intentional in the way that they speak to me, like, hey, I want to take you out, or hey, I'd like to get to know you better, or I have feelings for you. That's when I start to be like, oh, do I like this person? Like, do I see myself with them?
Nowadays.
Then and only then. Honestly, I could go on and on, but this is really long. So if you guys have any questions or you want to hear more, just let me know.
It's probably the best advice I've ever heard from a woman.
Ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
Damn, fam, this plus size Queen started off well enough, but then, as usual, they dropped the ball at the end. Okay, Queen, you're number 4. I don't agree with her because a high-value man will test a big girl rather quickly. Why? Because he could do it, because she's not hot. He's gonna be very straightforward. Hey, look, this is what I want for you. Bam, bam, bam. And her having a problem with that, again, goes to show you that women don't want honesty. They just want a comforting story. All right, number 5. Okay, you say upfront what you want, but be realistic, Queen. You can't make the same demands a skinny girl can make, unless, of course, you're either with the guys who are chubby chasers or super blue pill simps. I mean, I agreed at first with this woman, but she seems to be demanding me being the main chick energy, which takes a long time to earn, especially as a big girl. It's gonna take almost twice as long. You really have got to earn a lot of his trust to get that as a big girl. I mean, what you can't do physically, you got to do another way. And the thing that she said about a toxic man will see what he wants to get from you, and a good man will want to serve you, I 100% disagree there, Queen. That's 100% simp blue pill energy right there. No way. Why? Because women want to see what they get out of men, and men want to see what they get out of women. That's how the scales get balanced in relationships. I mean, I do understand in your case, you could tip the scales pretty easy. But the cherry on top is that you said you were very picky. Okay, listen, Queen. I'm not saying that you should choose just about every man out there, but let's be real. You do not have the figure to be picky. Your pickings are slim starting off. I'm an honest believer that this Queen gets a bunch of the simps out there to take her out and do these things for her. I would not be surprised if the same kind of guys that give her the treatment that she wants are the same kind of guys that give a good chunk of their money to all these lonely fan content creators. Simps galore. I mean, this gorilla believes that everything has limits. That also includes weight limits.
How dare you?
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe.